Hi there. Welcome to day 43 of 66 Days of Possibility. Uh, I want to do a little bit of a follow up on something I talked about way back in one of the very few first days of this experience. And that's the idea of throwing big questions out to the universe and then not looking for an answer. And this is something I'd read somewhere, and I thought, this sounds really interesting because so often you come up with that big question: what if this happens? How can I manage to do this? And you can worry about it, and you can spend a lot of time being preoccupied and using energy on this question that seems to consume you at that moment. And what I'm learning is that often what seems like a huge question and all consuming at that moment in your life, if you fast forward a couple of weeks, it maybe isn't quite as important anymore. And it allows you to keep things in perspective if you distance yourself a little bit from the big question when it first comes up. I stopped to think, okay, what was that first big question I threw out into the universe when I brought up this idea initially? And I can't remember. I can't remember. And I could go back and watch the earlier days, but I'm thinking either I found an answer and it wasn't as big a question as I thought, and the answer was found and it's all sorted itself out, or it's no longer a big question in my life. So maybe doing this can really help filter out some of the things that in the moment seem really major, but in the grand scheme of things aren't quite so important. I don't know if that's the only purpose, but that feels to me like a win, that sometimes we need to be able to let go of something that seems to consume us. If a week later, I'm still thinking, oh, I wonder if I've got an answer for that yet, then this is obviously something important, and it will, I'm sure, resolve itself. But lots of times those big questions in that one moment turn out to be tiny, tiny little molehills, barely a thought, rather than the big question that we thought it was to start with. So that's just a thought that I was having today about those throwing out big questions. It's something I've really gotten into a habit of doing, and it's working for me so far. I'm either learning that they're not important, or things are getting resolved without me worrying or hunting or expending a lot of energy. So I'm thinking that's good. Thank you so much for being here, whether you're on the live or the replay. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again tomorrow for day 44.